The tubes are down in Riverton, but that does not stop us. The FCC is set to consider labeling broadband services like food, recognition for tribal libraries and write-in political candidates, changes to TV white space devices, and harmonizing equipment with world standards.
REC, FCC Today, Michi Bradley.
This is FCC Today, the podcast for Friday, January 7, 2022. The Federal Communications Commission has released its agenda for the January FCC open meeting scheduled for Thursday, January 27. The FCC will vote on the adoption of a notice of proposed rulemaking in CG Docket 22-2. In this proceeding, the FCC proposes policies to implement a portion of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which was signed by President Biden on November 15, 2021. The law directs the FCC to promulgate regulations to require that Internet service providers display broadband consumer labels during the point of sale for Internet access services. The concept of these labels were originally developed in 2016 by the Commission's Consumer Advisory Committee and are styled similar to the nutrition facts labels that are mandated by the Food and Drug Administration on food products. The broadband labels would include information on pricing, data allowance, other included services and features, one-time fees, service contract terms, early termination fees, and information on customer-provided devices. Mobile broadband labels would also include information on performance, such as speed and latency, and network management practices. These online labels would include links to the provider's privacy policy and complaint processes. The NPRM questions whether additional information should be included, such as policies regarding the use of multiple devices, throttling, blocking, or paid prioritization. The Commission also wants to assure that the information on these labels are accessible to those with disabilities. The Commission will also consider a report and order in CC Docket 02-6, which clarifies that tribal libraries would be eligible for preferential rates and treatment for broadband connectivity through the E-rate program. Originally, only libraries that were eligible for assistance from a state library administrative agency under the Library Services and Technology Act of 1996 would be eligible for E-rate benefits. This excluded tribal libraries. In 2018, Congress adopted the Museum and Library Services Act, which explicitly included tribal libraries in the definition of libraries for E-rate funding. Last fall, the FCC adopted a notice of proposed rulemaking proposing to update sections 54.500 and 54.501B1 of the Commission's rules to reflect the amended definition of libraries from the Museum and Library Services Act of 2018, which includes tribal libraries. If adopted, this report and order would implement those proposed rule changes. The Commission will consider a report and order in MB Docket 21-293, which expands the political programming and record-keeping rules where it comes to write-in candidates. Under the revised rules, the definition of a legally qualified candidate for public office would be expanded to include the creation of a campaign website and the use of social media for the purpose of promoting and furthering a campaign to the list of activities that may be considered in determining whether an individual running as a write-in candidate has made a substantial showing of their candidacy. The report and order would also expand the political file rules to conform with the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act of 2002, which extended the political record-keeping requirements to any request for the purchase of advertising time that, quote, communicates a message related to any political matter of national importance, end quote. These are also referred to as issue ads and specifies the records that must be maintained for both campaign and issue ads. The Commission will consider a second order on reconsideration and order in ET dockets 04-186 and 14-165 regarding TV whitespace devices. The changes being made on reconsideration will revise the technical requirements of how whitespace devices and whitespace databases will work to ensure that licensed wireless microphone operations will continue to be protected from harmful interference in a timely fashion. This will be done through replacing a requirement that whitespace databases push changes in availability to whitespace devices when a licensed wireless microphone user registers to use a previous available channel, and to have whitespace devices check the database at least once per hour instead of once per day. The order in this proceeding will deny a petition for reconsideration filed by the National Association of Broadcasters, who objected to the approval of Nominet UK, now known as RED Technologies, as a whitespace administrator. The NAB cites cases where the data about television stations in the Nominet database was incorrect. Nominet stated that they were aware of the issues, many of which were related to the Commission switching broadcast data to LMS, which, as REC has also experienced, has a much different structure than its predecessor database, CDBS. Finally, the Commission will consider a notice of proposed rulemaking in ET dockets 21-363 and 19-48, which, for equipment authorizations, would reference certain standards of the American National Standards Institute, the Accelerated Standards Committee, the International Organization of Standardization, and the International Electrotechnical Commission. These changes will help harmonize the FCC rules to international standards. Circulation drafts of all of these items are available at the FCC website, and the FCC will vote on these items on or before the open meeting on January 27. As of the time of this recording, REC Networks is currently without internet and phone service due to damage caused by a recent snowstorm. As of 3 p.m. on Friday, we're not aware of when services will return. At this time, REC's websites are up and running. REC is accepting voicemails and emails. We have a limited ability to check voicemails and emails, and we also have limited access to our systems. The J1 Radio and Delmarva FM streams are running emergency content, and J1 HD in Southern California is currently silent.
FCC Today.
FCC Today, the podcast, is available through Podbean, iHeart, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Call our input line at 202-963-0852. That's 202-963-0852. REC Networks is always on, even when the tubes are out in Riverton, at recnet.com. The official website of FCC Today is fcc.today. I am Michelle Bradley, SBE certified broadcast technologist. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend and stay safe.
REC.